Hi, this is Kimber Domke, Mindful Food and Fitness Coach, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about the stresses around sugar. So feeling like I just want to tear this darn thing apart. Luckily, it's just a prop. It's made of felt, so I don't have real sugar here, no danger. But in any case, we're going to learn a new word today. And we are also going to talk a little bit about where I was for a couple days earlier this week. And we're centering it all around, once again, the problem that people face of, especially at the holiday time, just being overwhelmed with the appearance of treats everywhere that we look and feeling like sugar is just really presenting a very stressful and emotional challenge for many of us. So here's the problem that many of my clients and friends have come to with me lately and repeatedly. And it's that, we have so many treats around us and we really want to enjoy them. And at the same time, we really don't want to feel like crap at the end of the day, right? And we really don't want to go down into this oftentimes a sugar binge situation, or the fact that sugar is just showing up repeatedly over and over again. These things, they just keep coming back into our diet, and it's very emotionally difficult. So we, on one side, want to enjoy things for the holidays. Of course, that's very valid. And on the other side, we also want our clothes to fit. We also want to feel great. We want to be mentally clear. So these two things are opposing, and oftentimes this is what creates a lot of stress for us. So it feels like we have to choose. It's this terrible situation. It's very stressful. You feel restricted. You feel rebellious. You feel anxious. There's all of this chaos going on in our mind. And there is an interesting solution to it. And earlier this week, I was in Maryland for a couple days doing a skills workshop, a skills trainer training of dialectical behavior therapy. So I want to teach you this word. Normally, this is a space that is very focused on specific personality challenges and therapy, and it's very prominent in the therapy and medical community, but I think it has a lot of impact potential for regular people or people who are struggling with anxiety, depression, etc., and how we can start to change our mindset to approach things in a way that is just more effective, right? So around health habits especially, these mental constructs can really help us. So let me get back to our new word. Our new word is dialectic. Oh no, do I have it upside down? Yes, I do. Okay. Our new word is dialectic. So what is a dialectic? It has something to do with debate. It has something to do with finding, truth. And what it's really about in this case is acknowledging that there can be two things that don't really go together very well, but they have to coexist, right? So what I was speaking about was the dialectic of, just a moment. On the one hand, we really want the sugar, right? We really want the treats, and we're desperate to have it, and it feels like it's a must, right? We really want to enjoy it. There's a lot of reasons. It's fun. It makes us feel, happy. We get that sugar rush. There's a social component often. So there's that fact that we must accept and validate what's happening on that one side. Now, the other side, of course, is, there might be a desire for change, right? If you're in this situation where you're just going wild with sugar and you're struggling around it, you probably, or if you're watching this, you're probably interested in changing or problem solving the situation, because many problems can arise around this kind of sugar consumption, addiction, and just the presence of it day to day in our lives. So the dialectic is all about kind of acknowledging that these two things have to coexist, and simply by accepting the challenge and also acknowledging that we can problem solve it and change it, we can get a lot of relief from the emotional challenges that come along with this. So when these two things are happening, right? I must change, I must, eat wonderfully for the holidays, and at the same time, sugar makes me feel really good, and so I struggle around it. When these two things are having a fight and they're battling each other, we often lose out and our emotions just skyrocket, right? They just keep getting higher and higher, and the situation becomes more and more stressful. So the secret behind this dialectical idea is that both things can coexist. And my tip to use to kind of apply this is to start talking to yourself with an and, right? So the problem is that our emotions get lifted very high because of this combat of change versus acceptance. And what we can do to sort of calm ourselves down is just start with a really simple self-talk of using the word and. So instead of saying but, I encourage you this week to try out an and, right? Here's an example. First, the stressful example. I really want these Twizzlers, but I'm supposed to be following a wonderful diet for the holidays. That doesn't feel great. I just feel like all I want is Twizzlers more and more. My emotion around Twizzlers starts to get escalated. And at the same time, I'm totally frustrated because I'm failing potentially in my effort for change. I'm wanting to eat this endlessly and I can't make heads or tails of it, and I can't problem solve around it either when my emotions get really elevated. So what we can do is just start speaking to ourselves with the and. So I want sugar. There's a lot of functions to eating sugar and eating treats around the holidays. And at the same time, I also want change. So I also want to, drop a, a pound or two, or I want to feel high energy and not exhausted, especially in the winter season. So I try out the and speech to myself, and I suddenly start to feel, just give it a try, I start to feel a little calmer, a little less emotional, a little more able to just be in the stress of it and let that emotion dissipate and let it pass before I've gobbled up like 4 pounds of this. Okay, so once again, our word of the day, dialectic or dialectical. And what it means is taking into account and starting to realize that there can be these two things that don't seem to be willing to coexist, and yet they have to. So I encourage you this week to try out using the word and when you're feeling the stress between acceptance of something that isn't great, it has a lot of negative effects, but it also, the validation component, it also serves a lot of purposes, right? Some sugar can calm us down, sugar can make us feel relief from the stress, right? And at the same time, we might want to change, right? So these two things, they don't have to be at a terrible odds and battling each other, and you don't have to use the word but continuously and start degrading your emotional state that way. So give a try once again to and. Give an and try out this idea of the dialectic. All right, thank you so much for watching. This has been Kimber Domke, Mindful Food and Fitness Coach, and please give a like to the video, sign up on the website kimberdomke.com for additional newsletter updates. Ask any questions. I am excited to dive into this stuff more. I know it's a little heady, but there are just tremendous amounts of research and benefits behind DBT and mindfulness, so I am going to be incorporating more of that in sharing with you some solutions. Have an awesome day. Take care.